Look at the three states of matter that we're concerned with primarily in chemistry. The first one is solid. And to give us a better idea of what a solid looks like at the particle level, you might expect to see something like this. And what you'll notice in this structure is that my particles have low kinetic energy, meaning they're not moving very fast. In fact, in this case, they're probably only vibrating. And why are they vibrating? Well, in all of my substances, there will be some kind of interparticle forces that are holding those particles together or attracting the different particles. Depending on my substance, the interparticle forces might be slightly different things, but let's take the example of water here, which is made of small molecules, and in between molecules we would expect to see intermolecular forces. So when my particles have low kinetic energy, those intermolecular forces are able to hold the particles in a fixed position. Although it's important to note, unless I am at 0 Kelvin, there will still be some movement. We normally talk about vibration. So because the particles are held in these fixed positions, we find that solids have a fixed shape and they also have a fixed volume. Let's compare that with the second state of matter, which would be a liquid. And the particle diagram of a liquid might look something like this. And you can see now my particles have a slightly higher kinetic energy. And this means that the interparticle forces, or intermolecular forces in this case, can only partially hold particles. And this allows the particles to move freely, but still close together because those attractions are still partially there. Now, because the particles can move freely, liquids have no fixed shape. So if you pour water into a container, the liquid water will fill the shape of that container. However, they do still have a fixed volume. And that's because although they are moving freely to an extent, they are still very close together, so we can't really squash them into a smaller volume. Finally, we need to know about gases, and the particle model of a gas might look something like this. And now you can see that I have much higher kinetic energy in my particles, and this means that the intermolecular forces or interparticle forces cannot hold the particles close together, resulting in particles being able to move freely and spaced out from each other. And therefore gases, again, will have no fixed shape. They will kind of fill to fit the shape of the container. And in this case, they will also not have a fixed volume because they're able to spread out and take up whatever volume they are in. And that's pretty much it for the states of matter. The key terms in there are kinetic energy and interparticle forces, and if you know what those things mean, then you can kind of work out the rest. Hopefully this was of some help.